All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Bleav in Rams, presented by FanDuel, your home for all things Rams football this season. I'm Erin Coscarelli, and make sure, of course, to subscribe, comment, find us on YouTube. The Rams are playing the Chargers this weekend, but week 5 of the regular season, the Rams are taking on the Niners. Thursday night football on Prime. Week 2 kicks off with Commanders versus the Packers this season. And speaking of primes, Thursday night football, I get to be joined by the legend himself, Andrew Whitworth. How are you, first and foremost? And the other thing that I love, you guys are having so much fun on that show. How are you, Andrew? Thanks for joining us.
Aaron, thank you so much for letting me come on and hang out with you a little bit. I'm doing great. I mean, football is back. Here we go. It's the preseason, overreaction time to
Yeah.
everything going on in camps. And you know what? Here comes the season. I can't wait to get to traveling with our crew on Thursday nights because you're right. We are not short of having a good time. That is for sure.
It's like a party on set, and then we just are watching football, and I love watching you guys. I think football is fun. I know we make things really serious, and we're going to talk about the Rams in a moment. But it was really cool. It was cool to see you. I saw you at Cowboys joint practice. You were giving advice to Micah. I know you ended up going on the Rich Eisen show talking about what you guys might have been talking about. But it's just fun to get excited. I think the fans are so stoked and pumped, and they had a great game against the Cowboys this past weekend. And it's nice that football's here. It's finally back.
It is, and I think it's one of those times that everybody, look, all 32 have hopes right now, and they're all trying to find that window of how does our team achieve more than they did last year? How do they get to the top? How do they become the Eagles of last season? We're all trying to figure it out. What's that vision for my football team? Who needs to stay healthy? Who are we worried about? Who are we excited about? I think it's just one of those things, man. The greatest sport in the world. There's so many little pieces and parts to why teams are successful. And I think that's what makes it so much fun. This time of year, you got all 32 cities in the NFL that think their team's about to have that year. Maybe there's a couple that are a little doubtful, but you know what? There's a little part of them that thinks they got a chance.
And there's nothing more important than hope. Having hope gets you through a long season, inclement weather. Look, I think we should just talk about the elephant in the room, about the Rams. There's some stuff to talk about. And I think, what I've seen from covering this team the last couple of years is, and I've really been impressed with how Coach speaks to navigating, challenges, the mental resilience, the carryover from last year, what they had to go through, the young guys and the veterans. For you, how are you sort of processing what the Rams are dealing with right now? We don't really know specifics about Stafford, but in your mind, how did you process kind of what the team's going through right now and dealing with Stafford?
Yeah, well, I think when you look at an NFL football team, I mean, obviously there's years when it all pans out and everybody's healthy, and we see it every season that usually in those last 4 teams, it's usually 4 of the teams that are some of the healthiest in the NFL, and that's just the facts. And the teams playing that championship game. But one of the greatest attributes you can have in this league is agility. And what I mean by agility is not on the field ability to say, "Hey, we're going to go this direction or that direction quickly." I'm talking about the players we have, the plan we have, how we're week in and week out going to execute and win football games. We have the agility to really be able to say, all right, hey, this week we don't have this guy, or this week we're only going to be able to play this way, and we're going to find a way to win. And you know what? Hey, our starting quarterback may have a bad back in the beginning of camp, and we're going to have to figure out a way to navigate through camp and keep guys host, because it's not just the player. I made this point with Micah Parsons. People talk about the contract and what it does to the team and him. No, it's everybody, all 53 guys, all 60, 90 guys in camp. Their self-belief matters. It's not just about the one guy who's missing out. And so for even Stafford, right, in that situation, you're navigating, hey, we want our quarterback healthy as possible for week 1. We want him to do everything we can to make sure that he feels great for that. So that also means at the same time, we've got to keep the hopes, the aspirations, the passion that all our other guys on this roster have for how successful we can be this season. We got to keep them confident, because when they start to see, well, Matthew might not be out there this day, that starts to mess with them too mentally as well. So it's all
Mhm.
about confidence and that ability to have the agility to say, hey, we're going to keep adapting every single day. We're going to wake up, we're going to chase being the best version of ourselves, but we're also going to have that ability to adapt to whatever it takes to survive and to be at our best every single day. And so I think that
Mhm.
agility is something you see Sean McVay and the Rams have, and they do a tremendous job with. I mean, I know everybody freaked out about Matthew walking in the big silver beer can yesterday, but hey, the reality is it's just therapy. Listen, I was doing some red light therapy as well yesterday, and I'm not playing in a football game anytime soon. But, all of us have our different ways we take care of our body. And I thought that was probably the most enjoyable part of my day yesterday.
Getting to see the big giant beer can. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, just every's reaction like, what's
yeah.
happening in
I
there? What's
I know.
going on?
It
He's just sitting in some red lights. It's no big deal.
it's no big deal. Calm down, guys. Well, it's funny too. I will say because I wanted to talk to you about sort of how you've seen Coach McVay even evolve and mature as a coach. It's been really cool to witness him speak to how he's supporting players in a different way. He's said it. He said even after the Kyren extension, he was really grateful to hear that he was happy to be a Ram, and a lot of it had to do with the way Coach treated him. Coach texted him when he had his rookie season and he injured his foot. And then also yesterday he made a joke, Coach did, about this big thing that came on the sidelines of the practice yesterday, that it was a time machine, and I appreciate
Yep.
that because I
I
think
wish.
yeah, would you? Where would you go back?
I'd be back in the Rams, baby. Come on. We're going to go get us another Super Bowl.
Let's do it. But no, I mean, yeah, speak to coaches. How have you seen him mature? Because he's had to handle hard things. And he had a really cool article written by Jordan Rodriguez of The Athletic, really showing sort of a more vulnerable, open side, a mature side. And he speaks to that a lot about this team, sort of emotional maturity.
Yeah, I think this football team, continues to show with their resilience, the passion they have to be great, all the things they do every day, that they're a reflection of their head coach. I say this all the time when, I get a chance to speak at things. You can teach what you know, but you'll only ever replicate who you are. And the reality is that Sean McVay isn't somebody that's just rattling off a bunch of things he knows. He isn't rattling off information for you to think he's smart. That's how he lives day in and day out. He approaches days exactly what he's talking to you. Most of the time, those quotes he's giving you, the things he's telling you about guys, are the sermon he's giving himself in the mirror every single day. And that's just the truth of who he is and why this football team reacts that way to him. And you can constantly see it, whether it be Kyren, whether it be Jimmy Garoppolo after being here last year and saying, hey, this is one of the best environments, the most fun I've ever had playing for a football team, where you see guys come in, veteran free agents, whether it was Stafford when he got here, Odell Beckham when he got here. I know myself when I got here with Sean when he was 30, you just realized instantly it's different and it's unique. And Sean and I obviously are very close friends, spent a lot of time together off the field. And, I've had dinner with him the last few weeks. And it's one of those things that you realize, we talk about this all the time, and you slowly but surely mold yourself into this. But, we're the kind of guys that I think our passion in life is to not be good time friends. We want to be all time type people. We want to be the type of people that you want in your life, because you want them there for every day that you're on this earth, because they're the kind of people that, regardless of whether you spend a second with them or you get to see them every day, they're always in your corner. They're always wishing the best for you. And they always seem to be those people that when you need them, they're just the one that answers the phone or
Mhm.
the text or they timely message. That's who they are. They're not just there for your highlights. And I think that that's something that's really important to Coach McVay, is to make sure these guys know this isn't just about how they play on Sundays. This isn't about, man, what they can achieve for him. This is about, hey, this is a relationship. And I want to have a connection that's real and authentic, and an energy that exists between us and you, that you feel happy to be here. You want to be coached by me. And if I was playing, I'd want to be coached by me. But at the same time, if I was the coach, I'd want to be coaching somebody like you. And that's a two-way street. And I think that's something that's really passionate to Sean, and what makes him so unique. Forget all the intelligence and the remembering things and all that's great, man. I've met a lot of smart people. They were garbage football coach. Listen, he's a smart coach, but he's also an amazing human being, and that's what separates him.
And it's not lost on me. That's such cool words to hear you say about Coach Sean McVay. It's not lost on me we get to witness these storylines this season, because I agree, while we don't know what's going on with Stafford, the story underneath it all is this coach having to sort of rally cry for this team that's really gone through a tough situation last year, and we're going to see it happen again. And there is something really special about this brotherhood and this team, and just even the off the field initiatives. They went to Maui
Yep.
to help those in Hawaii who suffered from wildfires. That was scheduled well before what happened in LA. And then the LAFD Air Ops, the draft. I mean, this team just feels like, from the top down, like you said, a really special place. And even Devontae spoke, I want to say it was at OTAs, and he said there's no black cloud that looms over this environment. It feels very positive. And I think in moments where you're battle tested, like what is going on with Stafford, it's these sort of moments that, as coach had said, you have to lean into, because these are the opportunities for you to build courage and not be afraid to fail. Speaking to the offense for you, how do you see, if when Stafford comes back, do you expect to see offensively adjustments around his situation? Or
No, I would say that I really think with Matthew and the good part for them right now with having Jimmy there, another veteran quarterback who can really operate the offense, playing for Shanahan in some of the places he's been. This isn't some crazy transition for Jimmy to be, have to be the one that's in control right now. And so I think that you don't have to pull back. It's not one of those situations. If you had some young quarterback who's the only guy you got back in Stafford up, you may have to pull back a little bit in camp and hold back a little bit of the complexity of some of the things you're doing. Can we challenge the guys day in and day out, because we don't have that veteran out there? I think this is one of the key things teams overlook sometimes, is that quality backup, or at least a backup that's a veteran who can really run the offense the way it's supposed to be and the way you really envisioned it, even in these situations. And I think that's another thing that's really been a positive to me, because they're not having to hold back anything on a daily basis. Now, the relationship of, hey, Devontae getting to throw with Puka, and Matthew and all them kind of there, where we're going to be, what we're going to do with Matthew throwing with Higgs and Puka and all those guys. Sure, you're saying, hey, we'd rather have some reps where we're all together and we're playing together every single day, right? But they're still out there putting the work in. They're still out there be able to operate the offense at a really high level. I mean, going to the Cowboys scrimmage, that was definitely on display, how much talent and ability this offense has. So this has been a challenge, unfortunately, since they won the Super Bowl in 21. This has kind of been the story for them offensively. I mean, the injuries have been crazy. I mean, you look at it in 22, I mean, almost NFL history type injury records, with the offensive line, and starting a different group for almost 11 straight weeks, I think it was. And then the next year banged up coming out of the year. And then in 23, same thing. So you look at last year, like they're losing guys. They're just trying to get guys back so they can be healthy. This has kind of been a thing, where offensively it's been a struggle to just get, can we just play with the 11 guys we intended to for a
come
little
on.
while?
Yeah.
Just a little while, not a long time, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
it's one of those things I feel like as a Rams fan, I've been sitting here the last couple of years just like, can we just get all 11 on the field? Just all 11. That's all I want. But
Come on, guys.
when it's happened, they've made great runs, and they've been
That's
able to
right.
get themselves back in the playoffs, and they've looked like that kind of team that was one play away last year from going to the NFC Championship. So that's how good they are. That's the level of expectation they have for this football team. And look, Stafford's an old man. I know a little bit about being like the old guy, and there's little crap like this that creeps up and annoys the crap out of you. And look, there's nothing worse than sitting out there at practice watching. I mean, I know people think, oh, the veterans want days off and all that. No, we need the days off, because I can't move sometimes the day after a football practice. But
Yeah.
that's still miserable to go out there and watch. So I know Stafford is anxious to get out and play. He wants to go out there, those guys, and get to work. So listen, he's being ultra cautious, trying to make
That's
sure
right.
that back's healthy. And that's a smart thing, because we're going to need 9 to be healthy. Because if we can keep this team healthy on offense and defense and special teams, they're going to be a team to reckon with in the NFC.
Yeah, and that's what coach really said. He's like, "Look, this is an abundance of caution. We're not going to push him. We want the feedback." He threw 60 plus passes at the preseason workout, and he just didn't feel great. And I think at that point, the Rams are going to listen and prioritize his health. And when you speak about Jimmy Garoppolo at the Cowboys practice, the guy was nailing it. I mean, so many people walked away from the Cowboys joint practice in Oxnard going, Listen, there's a great insurance plan just in case because of how impressive Jimmy Garoppolo looked throwing the ball. I mean, I caught tons of great shots of him with Puka, him with Devontae. So, I mean, that's certainly a nice insurance backup plan when you have a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo in the building. And I think everybody's pretty confident in him and his services. And also, the good news is that running back room has a lot of depth. Blake Corum had a great showing this weekend in the preseason game. What kind of impact behind Kyren do you see Blake having this year?
I'm really excited for him. I think this is going to be a big opportunity for him this year. I think one of the things that you look back, even with this Rams team, trying to figure out how they go forward, adding some assets at running back this past offseason, knowing Blake Corum's there, extending Kyren Williams. I think there's this thing, hey, Kyren Williams, you were a tough dude. You're a bad man, and he's been a great asset for them. But maybe we need to find a way to share some of those carries a little bit and take a little bit off your load, because when you talk about production, Kyren's been really productive, but the explosives and some of the things you really want out of your running back to be able to hit some of those, hey, we blocked it up, this is a home run type looks. Sometimes if he's taking every single snap, you know what? You just run out of a little bit of gas for some of those. And so
Mhm.
his effectiveness on the field has been great, but we need to add some of those explosive runs to this to really get some of those big 15, 20-yard gains and even more when you want to call house calls. And so I think, to me, Blake Corum being able to be a big part of this offense,
Mhm.
take a little bit of that off, him and Kyren being a little more of a two-man show and both getting some reps in there, I think that's going to be a huge addition because also with this offensive line, really the way they've emerged, I'm excited about them, man. I mean, this opportunity to have Puka and Devontae and the guys outside, but also this running back core, and then add it with these big fellas up front,
Mm.
kind of all back at home where they're happy. Steve back out at guard and Coleman Shelton back in the mix, man. Coleman's a tremendous guy and a guy I've got a lot of time to work out with. That I think he's really going to be part of that glue that's going to bring back really the high level of play they can have.
All right, listen, guys, it's never easy to find great candidates to hire, right? Too many resumes, too many candidates with random skills or experience, but not with ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter finds amazing candidates for you fast. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/audio. So get this, ZipRecruiter has smart technology that does the work for you, identifying top talent quickly. It's like matchmaking, but for work. After you post your job, ZipRecruiter's matching technology finds you qualified people for the gig immediately after you post your job. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology starts showing you. ZipRecruiter lets you connect with top candidates ASAP. And I love this as well. ZipRecruiter's pre-written invite to apply message lets you personally reach out to your favorite candidates and encourage them to apply sooner. Ditch the other hiring sites. Let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for, the needle in the haystack. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/audio. Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. You mentioned the slow start. Of course, the injuries played a large part of that. How do you, and talking about the run game, how do the Rams sort of try to avoid the slow start again? They had said at the end of last season they wanted to diversify, kind of have more versatility in the offense, why they made some of the changes they made during the offseason. How do you see it? Is it more about offensive efficiency than it is with yards? What did the Rams, you think, need to do to sort of offset that slow start that happened last season?
Yeah, well, I think the first one is let's try to go out with at least 70% of the guys we intended to start the season with. Because last year it's like we go into the Detroit game and then it's like guys start falling out and you're like, oh no, like let's not do this. And I think it's one of those things that you see injuries matter in this league, and people who try to say, oh man, you know what? Listen, teams have to find a way to overcome. Like, I'll show you the healthiest teams. The healthiest teams are always playing at the end of the season in the playoffs. And so health matters. And so I think for one, it's getting all those guys to the gate ready to go. And you look at last year, they're even moving some pieces around up front with Steve playing some center and different things. I think this year they're really set on who's playing where. The only real question mark is Alaric Jackson and whether or not he'll be able to be back. and hopefully so. I mean, what a tough thing to happen to him this offseason. We
Mhm,
all, have
mhm.
our prayers and well wishes with him that he's back on that field, man, because he's a tremendous young man. He's going to be a great football player and leader for this football team. But listen, they did a great job of grabbing a guy like DJ Humphries who can come in and play for him at that position and give a lot of quality snaps. DJ's played a lot of good football in his career. And so when I look at this offense, I think to me, it's like Devontae and Puka being healthy, obviously, big part of it. But this offensive line, now that we're talking about Stafford, in the back and the age and all these type things, it's just going to matter. He's the toughest dude in the world, but you can't get hit all the time in this league and at any age. And so this line playing up to their expectation and how good they can be, that's going to be a huge factor for them. So when I look at the beginning of this season, I think a lot of these last couple of years have had more to do with injuries. If they're healthy, I think they're going to come out swinging, but they're going to have to because they got some challenging road
Mhm.
trips right off the jump of the schedule. Going to Baltimore, going to Philly, those are not going to be easy. And a Houston Texans D to start this season off, that is really special getting to the quarterback. So we're going to want Matthew to be healthy, and we're going to want this line to be fully intact
Yeah.
to start this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're just looking at like a sports book, like a FanDuel, they still have them heavily favored to win more than 7.5 games. Whether or not that has anything to do with Stafford, my question for you is: you mentioned Puka and Devontae. Do you think where would you rank them in terms of best wide receiver duo in the league right now?
Well, I think they got to get some snaps together. I mean, obviously, you have some ones that are pretty special right now that have been out there on the field for a while now, playing a lot together because some of that is their ability to really play off of each other and feed off of each other because you see that in these different offenses. Like one guy, Jamar Chase gets his, T. Higgins is like, man, give me one, Joe. Like, I'm going to go make a play for us. And so, really, it'll be that ability, like Puka had with Cooper, that ability to feed off of one another, and so I think that's going to be fun to watch. But I also think it's cool because these two kind of have different skill sets, obviously, and they're going to be used in different ways. So I think that's what's going to be a real challenge for defenses is that if you want to try to double Devontae and take him away, then you really open up the door for all the things they love to do with Puka, getting in the ball in space, getting the ball behind the line of scrimmage, all those type things where, all right, if we're going to double one side, you know what, we're leaving ourselves a little thin with Puka. And then the other side of it, if you want to take away a lot of that stuff and say, we're going to leave Devontae single covered, I mean, we got a taste of what that looks like in the Dallas scrimmage. If you're not going to double him, he's trouble. And so I think that's going to be fun. And then you got a guy like Tutu Atwell, who now probably
Mhm.
what I would say one of his best roles and what he was really supposed to be used for in this league is to be exactly what he can be now. Hey, come in, and when we need explosive, we need to take a shot. We need to play where we need a guy to go stretch the field. That's what you're here for. And you can go do just that. We're not asking you to do a whole lot of things out of your range. And so I think that's what's kind of neat to me is you start to see that group and you go, man, they've really got a guy for all the different things you'd want to do. And then the guy who I call, listen, he ain't a piece of the glue. He is the glue in Tyler Higbee. With Tyler being
Mhm.
back in that group, I've said this my whole career. In 16 years of playing, there's not ever been a single guy that affected the huddle more than when Tyler Higbee walked in that huddle. His energy, his passion, the love he has for the game. It's like seeing a toddler walk in the room and every single morning in your bedroom when you got a little kid. Like this, the passion and smile he has on his face, like it just lights you up and excites you for the day and excites you for the challenges ahead. He's a special human being, and the big wily vet Rob Havenstein. I mean, in there, I'm excited for this team. I think they have a
Yeah.
lot of potential, and they're probably not going to be. They're going to be that team. People are going to be like, oh, they're going to be good. Oh, they might win the division, maybe, maybe not. But I think they're going to be better than that. And I'm excited for
Yeah.
them. I hope they're healthy because I think they're going to get after it this year.
I mean, it's been so cool to just see this team perform at such a high level, but also on the other side, like you said, they're showing up, they're excited. You see Jared Verse, he's terrified of Aaron Donald. All of these fun storylines
Yeah.
that make this team so electric this season, where you really feel everybody's sort of really getting along and there's a cohesive energy of like, hey, we got this. We're gonna answer the bell. I know I'm short on time with you. Really quickly, I want to ask you this. Speaking of the future, Peter Schrager did mention on the Jimmy Traina podcast that you would make a terrific NFLPA president, and I agree. Would that be a role? Do you see yourself involved even more so in that world, Andrew?
I've always kind of tried to help from afar, and any way I can be there is great. I think that's an amazing compliment, and I appreciate Peter's sentiments. There were some people reaching out during that time about my interest level, and Listen, I hope for the players playing now and the players that played before and all the future ones that we get this union really running back the way it should be. I really do, and I think that's the ultimate importance. I think there's a lot of things we need to do better, but most importantly, we got to get that pride back of people wanting to be a part of this union and what makes it so special and what makes the opportunity to represent each and every player special. And I think for me, it's best done from afar. I have way too much fun doing what I do now.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
getting to be around the Rams and follow their journey. I love getting home to Cincinnati and the Bengals where I've been before and getting a chance to be around them and more than anything. You know what? Listen, I retired and getting to coach my kids in sports, be at home with them and watch them do everything is a blast. And then when you add the cherry on top, I get to travel every Thursday on Thursday Night Football with my crew, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Richard Sherman, Carissa Thompson, Tony Gonzalez, Taylor Rooks,
Wow.
you name it, Kaylee Hartung and Al and Kirk. I mean, just listen, and all the people behind the camera. It's an amazing group. And it's something I told them this. We had our Amazon seminar last week. I've gotten to be a part of a lot of really special locker rooms in my career. And I think that's one of the things the fans yearn the most to see what a locker room's like at that level. And this Amazon one, being a part of this new locker room has been one of the most rewarding in my life. Just the people
Mm.
and the passion they have for the game. And it's been really special. And so I actually just absolutely love what I'm doing. And I'm doing exactly that. So I'm going to just dig my feet in, keep, chasing each and every week to have some fun, create some cool moments on Thursday nights, and hopefully get to see Ryan Fitzpatrick take his shirt off a couple more times this year. And outside of that, all is good.
Awesome. Andrew, well, listen, you are having so much fun and we love watching you. We love just even the fact that you gave us this amount of time on a day where, the Rams are hopeful. We don't know a lot of what's going on with Stafford, and you didn't need to do that. And I really appreciate it. I mean, it really is cool to watch how you have so much respect for people and you just appreciate the game. And it's been a lot of fun to watch you Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime with Andrew Whitworth. Thank you again for the time. This has been Bleav in Rams presented by FanDuel. Thanks for listening, guys.